Flosstube, welcome back. This is another little Flosstube Extra of kits that I have kitted up, projects that I have kitted up for possible Mania starts. So in the last one, I showed you the 10 projects that were for sure Mania starts. The rest of these are going to go on a decision wheel, like a little tiny decisions app wheel. And I will be starting 11 of these, but it could be any 11. So there's quite a few. I want to say there's 23, 24, 25, somewhere around there. I just kept adding to the basket. They're all in this huge, like 31 tote. So there's the tote full of projects. And I just kept adding to it. So I decided I needed to cut myself off from adding to it, film this, and now I can't put anything else in there. Mostly, I promise. Okay, I didn't introduce myself. If you stumbled across this channel, I am 2 Martini Stitcher, both here on Flosstube and Instagram. This is a cross stitch channel about cross stitch. This is kind of a special edition. It's not like normally on a regular Flosstube. I'll show what I've been working on, what I've purchased, things I finished. This is a special edition just to show up some projects that I have kitted for Mania. So are you guys ready to dive in? The first thing I wanted to show you actually is one of the ones I showed you guys last time that is a for sure start, and it's actually going to be the first one I start on May 1st, Long and Winding Road. I had told you guys last time that I was waiting for the shaker box to come before pulling fabric and threads. Well, it came. It's beautiful, and so I wanted to show you guys what I ended up pulling to go with it. So this is the fabric that I picked to go up on top. It's a 36 count weathered shingle by R&R. So that's the fabric. And then I pulled some called for, I'm dropping stuff, hold on. Some called for threads, some not. I'm going to be making some changes. There's at least like 3 color and cotton in here that I was subbing out for some things. I'm going to be changing the house color and the color of the road. So there's definitely some differences in what is called for, but it's close-ish. And some of these are definitely the called for. So there they are. I know I deviated partially because like here, I don't know if you can tell, those are 2 different colors of green. And one of the ones it called for is chamomile. The chamomile I have is not at all green, like at all. It's brown. So I pulled this color and cotton, light green instead. And then I think some of the other color and cottons were subs for ones I didn't have. But I think that'll be really pretty. So that's actually one of the for sure starts. We'll see how, I don't know that I'm going to do all of the potential starts. I might have to break this up into 2 videos. We'll see. We'll see how long it takes. If I get on a roll, then we're just going to go with it. Or I might get halfway done and tire out and then do a second to show you the rest of them. We'll see. So I'm going to start at the back. So this is the stuff that I've added pretty recently. So they're not, I ran out of project bags. So some of this stuff isn't even in project bags. I think I planned on just only, I'm planning on having 21 starts in Mania. So I think I was planning on maybe kitting up 30 things. I'm now well over that. So I ran out of project bags. All right. The first one is this Home of a Needleworker Squared. And I just showed this in this week's Flosstube because I just acquired this. The pattern comes with, you have to buy it with the floss. So which is fine by me, it's all Classic Colorworks, love Classic Colorworks. I grabbed this 32 count Belfast linen. That's all I know about it. This came off Stash and Load, so I don't even know what color it is. But it looks like maybe some kind of like light mocha maybe, but I think it'll look great with those flosses. So that was an easy kit up, and that's why when that showed up I went, oh, pull fabric and throw it in with the possible Mania starts. So there's the first one. The next one that I ended up throwing in there, kind of last minute, was my Stitcher's Heart. I love just about I think for sure I'm going to do this one, and that one. I don't know about the scissor fob, just because I don't have very many scissors, and I don't put fobs on the tiny little cheapy ones I have. But I was thinking that I wasn't going to start this for a while. I bought it and got it all kitted up for all the projects, and I was thinking I wasn't going to start it because I'm doing Long and Winding Road, and this is, you know, the big project. But I am obsessed with this tomato, and I decided that I could start the tomato. So I got a piece of 32 count Platinum Belfast, because this is what's called for, and I got a piece that's big enough to do all 4 projects, because she said if you get somewhere in the pattern it says if you get a fat quarter that you should be able to get all the projects on there. And I don't know what the tomato calls for. I think it just calls for like a green. I have all the threads, but I think it just calls for maybe a crab cakes and a grasshopper. So that's all ready to go. If that comes up on the wheel, the tomato is the project that I'm going to be working on. So I have it all kitted up for all the projects, but that's the one because I'm just obsessed with that tomato. Look at how amazing that is. And I'm sure that finishing stuff was done with felt, and I even have some felt. I talk like I'll get that stitched up and finished during May. Okay, next up is a Blackbird Designs. Blackbird. So I have 2 foreshore starts that are Blackbird, Long and Winding Road and No Mouse Without a House. No House Without a Mouse. I said that backwards. You're going to see that I have several more Blackbird designs in the possible Mania starts. So I think that I'm only going to do 1 or 2. We'll see how many are in the possible starts. So if I keep spinning Blackbird designs, I'll probably only do the first 2 that pop up on the wheel, just because I want to have a good mix of designers. So, but this is Blackbird. This is another one that didn't get a project bag because I ran out. Crinkle. And it was really easy to just throw. It's 1 color. So I picked a 36 count Beach Brew and Blackbird. And I probably need more than that. Maybe not. It's tiny. But I have Blackbird in other projects too. So it just seemed appropriate to stitch Blackbird in Blackbird. I'm not sure if that's what it called for though. I feel like it called for something else. Oh look. Since I have it open, let's look what it called for. Yeah, it calls for espresso bean, which you can't get espresso bean. I feel like that's one of those colors that has been out of stock and back ordered everywhere since last fall. Okay. Can we have a quick chat about these type of bags versus these type of bags? Does anybody successfully get the pattern back in here without it sticking to the pattern? That one should have gotten a project bag just for that reason. Okay. Next up is another Blackbird Designs, Strawberry Fields Forever. And I chose 36 count Vintage Gray. I'm pretty sure that's an R&R. No, 32. This is a 32 count Vintage Gray. I love that color. This like, so it reminds me kind of Silvery Moon too. It's such a nice light neutral gray. And here are some of the colors. Blackbird calls for a lot of similar colors in their designs, and so I have all the colors for these, but I think some of them might be in Long and Winding Road and other places, but my spreadsheet tells me that I have all of the colors. But here's the ones that are in with the project. Baked Apple. That's that. I'm using that for is that in Strawberries and Mint? That's a good color, Baked Apple. So there's some of the colors. The rest of them are in other projects. Oh, and a DMC. I think one of them I picked the DMC conversion. So it's not exact. When I actually stitch on these, you guys, I'll put up all the exact information. I'm not going to put that all in the show notes today because I don't have time for that. Okay, what is this? Letters from Mom. I need to stitch this 3 times, so I should probably get going on it. This is Jeanette Douglas, and it's a whole series. I think I'm just doing this, and then I would love to have it made into this little pouch for all of the girls when they kind of move out so that I can write them letters. And I have a big whack of 36 count flax because I want to get all, so I can stitch all 3 on this one piece. Pretty sure it's not that big. It takes a lot of colors though, oddly. So here are the colors, and I feel like a couple of them are with other projects, maybe, but maybe not. Kind of a mess. What's happening here? Here's the colors. See, they're so pretty. This one, is this Teal Frost? Yes, that color is so pretty. I love that color. And this Raspberry Frost. I think some of the colors in this project are loaned out other places, but I know where they are, so it'll be fine. And I know that I really, really should probably like iron these and get these all ready, like totally ready to put the first stitch in them. I just don't know if that's gonna happen before May. I'm just gonna have to take a little bit of time each day to do that before I start stitching, and it'll be okay. All right, next up is a Redbird Sampler by Heart and Hand. I just love this. I don't have a red sampler going, and I just love that little red bird. I just think it's pretty. And I am doing this on a 28 count natural linen, and what does it call for? Not that. It calls for a 26 count natural undyed linen. I just went out with 28 count natural, and then I picked Licorice Red, which is not that red. It's really pretty variegated red. It calls for Lancaster. It calls for Week Style Works Lancaster. I had Licorice Red, so I thought that'd be pretty. So that's a Redbird Sampler. I tried to do a decent mix of big projects and little, but we'll see as I go if I actually manage that. Next up is Quaker Sewing Tray. Love this. This is just so pretty. I've had this for a while. So this is Quaker Sewing Tray by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I know that Janine sells, down at Acorns and Thread sells these trays. So, and it calls for mudstone linen, but that looked kind of pink to me. And I just love all the pinks and reds in this, that I went for pink. I went for pink linen. It says R&R in the pink. And there's the colors. I think there is like maybe 1 or 2 more that are other places, but for the most part, it's really greens. It's a couple greens and pinks and reds. So that'd be fun. And I don't think that that's actually too big. It doesn't say what the stitch count is. It just says you need an 11.5 by 11.5 piece, but that seems like a generous cut. I could be totally wrong though. I frequently am. I frequently think, oh, that looks small, and it's not. All right, next is Necessity Sampler by Little House Needleworks. I don't know. I kind of am liking the idea of having a bunch of little sewing themed, stitching themed things up in the wall in the upstairs room. Maybe on one of these walls down here. We don't have a whole lot of decorations. Anyhow, so this, it called for like a cream. Oh, this is the linen that came with Duke Clover. that ivory linen, because it called for a 32 count cream linen, and this is 32 count like ivory or something. And you know, normally I'd tea coffee dye that or something. Oh, look at this. I didn't even put these on a thread drop. That's pathetic. But it's all DMC. And here are, I need to get that on some kind of thread drop or something. But here's the colors. So there's the colors. They're nice blues and greens, and I don't know what that is for. That cream is like the same color. And it's hard to, like, you look at this and it just doesn't even seem like it's that many colors. I don't know. But, and that's not too big. Like, that seems really doable. 93 by 93. I mean, clearly I'm not going to finish it in the day I started, but okay. Next up is another Blackbird Designs. Yeah, see, so that's what, we're up to 3 already. I think I'm only going to do 1 or 2, depending on how I'm feeling. And this one is Eleanor Rigsby. I'm going to do this colorway, which is meant as a burst sampler. I am undecided about whether or not I'm going to put Eleanor Rigsby and any date there, or if I'm going to leave all of this off and just close up the border and just have it be the flowers and the border is what I think I'm going to do. But I'm doing this like green and red and pink colorway. I picked a 32 count iced cappuccino for it, and this is literally, that's it, burlap. All the other threads are in other Blackbird patterns. So but there's the burlap that it calls for. Everything else is somewhere else. It's old red paint, antique rose, piney woods. It's all elsewhere. I'll either dig it out of what, if this comes up, I'll either dig it out of the other projects, or I don't know, I might go stash diving into that color cotton order I got. We'll see. Cross that bridge when I get there. Okay, next up is Ink Circles Metamorphosis. I don't know why I love this pattern. Something about the progression of the Quaker that I really like. I really like that. And I chose for this 32 count Plum Street blend. And I am using, instead of doing, because it calls for like each of these to be done in a different color. Yeah, it calls for 7 gassed Gentle Arts colors. But instead, I'm going to stitch it in this like one, this is Needle Necessities, which is now Threadworks. And it's 20 yards, so it's plenty. And you guys can see like that beautiful, I mean, they're just fall, there's even some like gold in there. And I just think that that color with that variegation is going to be beautiful. And I like the idea of using one variegated floss along that whole progression of motif. So that's Metamorphosis. Next. This is Sing a Sampler. Okay, I don't know that this is going into the Possible Mania starts because, and I'll tell you why. I'll show it to you and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking. This is Silver Creek Samplers Sing a Sampler, and it's, you know, the song, doe, a deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun. It's from Sound of Music. You guys know it. I love Sound of Music. This to me is a holiday movie. I feel like we always watch this. I mean, I could be wrong. My memory could be totally wrong. But, you know, like I grew up when movies like this, like you couldn't stream them, right? Like my kids literally don't understand this. And I feel like it always aired Thanksgiving weekend on whatever network owned the rights to it. And we would watch it with my grandmother because we were always with her. It might have been over Christmas, but I felt like it was over Thanksgiving weekend. I know that movie so well. I know all the lines, all the songs. I force my kids to watch it with me. I've been wanting to start this with Jan Hicks's color conversion and do them all like 4 and 4 instead of super long, 4 and 4. My friend Annie, Joy-Filled Stitcher, had already kind of charted that out and then decided not to do it. So she shared how she charted out with me. When I decided not to do Color of Winter, I talked about this last time, I decided not to do Color of Winter and it would be my high tea start in October. And I was like, I don't know what my, July high tea start will be. Maybe it'll be something Christmas. I'm now thinking that this is going to be my July high tea start. Because it will feel kind of like Christmas holiday to me. And it'll be like a special start because I really am excited for this piece and to stitch it. So I'll show you what I picked for it, but I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna pull this from Mania Starts and hold this for high tea. So I pulled a Belfast, 32 count Belfast Vintage Smoky White. And here are the colors for the frames around each one. So I will link Jan Hicks's website. She has the color conversion. It shows a picture of it finished. She based it off of a friend's color conversion. And there's a picture of it so you can see, but it's like a rainbow. Matter of fact, I'll show you this because I doubt that Annie would mind if I showed it to you. This is what she provided with me that shows like the boxes, the orientation of all the boxes. So you do do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And it's rainbow. And the whole thing's just brighter. Because I love this chart, but it's all very like golden gray. So this is all way punched up. Jan Hicks's conversion is all way punched up. So here is what I pulled. Some of it is exactly what Jan called for. Some of it is a little different. This will be the words up top and bottom. When you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything. And then all the words in the boxes are in sable. But the rest of these are the rainbow borders. So it's gonna be so beautiful and amazing. So this is gonna be my July high tea start. So I just showed you that, and that's not a possible Mania start, but you'll see it in July. So there we go. Look at that, taking it out of the basket. Look, I'm getting rid of one. It's a miracle. Okay, up next is Bendy Stitchy's You're Okay. Love this. I've been wanting to do something fractor for quite a while, and this one just needs to be done. I'm going to do it on a piece of 18 count vintage country mocha Ada, and with the called for colors because they're fantastic. So there's the called for colors. I think maybe I'm missing one, or a couple are other places. I know. But here's the ones that I have dedicated to it. So, and the handy dandy floss spreadsheet will tell me where the other ones are. Honestly, because I'm just starting these and they're getting one day. I mean, it's not like I'm going to get that far. As long as I have probably 1 or 2 floss colors, I'm probably good to start it. Okay. Next up is Olga by Plum Street Samplers. I love that cat. He just looks so annoyed. I love it. Okay, and I'm going to be stitching Olga on. What is this? Oh, this is, here it is. I kept it in there. This is Color and Cotton. It's a 36 count sea salt. It's kind of got like a, you guys can see, it's kind of got like almost like a greenish grayish cast to it, and I thought it would be a nice good background for the colors. So there's the colors for Olga. What's the black? Black coffee. It's a good color. All right. This one is kind of close. I was a little worried about this dandelion stem, but it's like it's on the inside of a pumpkin, so I think it's going to be okay. And I just really love that. That's good fabric. Sea salt by Color and Cotton. Guys, this is going to be so hard. I want to start all of these. How can some of these be left behind? Okay. This is Jardin Privé Patchwork de la Broderie. Broderies? Like, see, won't that be lovely? I'm telling you, I kind of started Mania with the theme of like stitching all the stitching things. And I just love that. And so this is all, look at that. Once again, I don't even have them on I kind of need to go through all this stuff again, guys, huh? And do some work. I don't know that I got time. I mean, I'm just home all day. Like, what do I mean I don't have time? I have other stitching I really need to get done before Mania starts. But this is all DMC. I'm doing it on a 32 count summer khaki. Is that what it called for? Oh, it even called for that. And I think I had it. I was like, summer khaki. I think I have summer khaki. Sure enough, I do. Look at that. It's gonna look good. So there's the DMC colors on the summer khaki. That's fun. 117 by 117. But I just feel like this would be a fun little stitch, right? I mean, it's Mania, so I'm going to start with border. I feel like you guys are going to see a lot of border starts. Here's my little bit of border that I started, but like all these little tiny things inside would just be fun little mini finishes. So there's that one, possible Mania start. Ooh, another bendy stitchy. This one is Stitch Always. Love that. And I pulled for this 32 count Ariel. I think I bought this as a possible fabric for another start and then used a different blue. And this one is going to be perfect for Stitch Always. It's a bunch of DMC that I don't even have on a ring. Hold on. Hold please while I put this on a ring because that's ridiculous. I have a ring sitting right here. And does this call for DMC? It does. It calls for all DMC, and I feel like I did not have most of them. So I just went with I just pulled ones that I thought were close. I'm not sure that any of these are. It also needs a black. And I just always have Anchor or 310 lying around. But here's the colors that I pulled for it. Like, I know that the tomato color is different and the orange might be a little bit different. Oh, I think I'm going to do the robin or the little bird. I'm going to do his body this color instead of the orange. I don't know. But these are the colors I pulled for it, and they're close-ish. They're in the same vein of what Michelle charted, but it was just what I had because I don't think I had all the correct DMC colors. All right, and that should be a fun quick little stitch. Baby, it's cold outside, because neither time the sale has started have I bought this when the one in Leanne's memory was starting. I bought this from Julie Gulf Coast Stitches when she was selling it and doing the Lost and Stitchy Wishes, but I couldn't start it that day. They started on Valentine's Day, and I feel like I was at a dance competition or something back when that was a thing that we did in life. So I thought this might be a good time to start it. I'm going to do this on 32 count Color and Cotton fabric in Caraway. I thought that just looked really pretty with the flosses, and I'm going to do this in all called for. This looks orange in the monitor, and it's not. That's Harvest Moon. It's yellow, not orange. I do feel like sometimes I love the murder wall, but I feel like sometimes it plays funky with colors. So that's everything all kitted up. That's why I chose Fabric Wise for Baby It's Cold Outside. Oh. The stack is getting precarious. Okay, next up is Star Spangled Spectacular. And this is the new Souvenirs of the Heart by With Thy Needle and Thread. I have the fall and winter one, but I figure if I'm going to start one, I should start with summer since that's actually coming up next. This was a market release. I had some, matter of fact, the rest of the whack of it is sitting here. I had bought some off of Wayside Stitchers D-Stash, this bone. I think it's 28 count. There was no tag on it when I came, but my recollection was that it was 28. It's either 28 or 25. And it was bone. So I tea coffee dyed some for at least enough for this one and the Autumn in Amana. And I'm going to stitch this 1/1 like she calls for on the chart. So I'm going to stitch this 1/1 on whatever count this is. It's 25, 28, something around there with the called for colors. Look at those blues. This is going to be good. So there we go. So that is Star Spangled Spectacular. Oh my gosh, where are we? How many is this, guys? How many have we done so far? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's 16 so far. Okay, so that's all still within, no, I'm picking 11 more. So we're already past what I could possibly stitch. Let's keep going. Okay, next is Garden Club. So I have 4 of these. I picked 4 of these. I'm not going to do the entire series by Blackbird. So this is what, the 4th Blackbird design? Yeah, I'll pick no more than 2 because that's now 4. Blackbird, Strawberry Fields, Eleanor Rigsby, and these. So there'll be a max of 2, which would be 4 total out of 21. So these are the 4 Garden Club series. I'm going to count them as 1 whip. I'll count each one as a finish, but 1 whip. So these are the 4 I've chosen. I already have like a finishing piece and everything of how this is going to be finished. So I just picked my 4 favorites. So I'm doing Apple Orchard, Fairy Garden, Climbing the Trellis, and Basket of Cherries. And I'm going to start on Apple Orchard. I don't know why. Just because. And I'm going to do all of them on this 28 count platinum. Yeah, and I have a huge, like this is huge, like ridiculous. I know I got this off of Stash Unload, this huge piece. Like, look at that. I clearly do not need all of this 28 count platinum for this because they're not that big. I think it calls to be done on 30 or 32, but because of the finishing piece that I'm doing it on, yeah, it calls for 32, which finishes it at 4 inches by 4 inches. These are not big. So I'm going to do it on 28 just because I actually do want them a little bit bigger for what I'm finishing them on. So Apple Orchard is going to be up first. Here are most of the threads. Some of them are in other Blackbird charts. That's not even most of the threads. That's some of the threads. I mean, I kind of loosely kit things up apparently. I was watching Handwork Maniac. I love her. I love her stuff. I love her. She's so organized. And she really, like, everything is so ready. I like to the point that I think she even has marked where she starts. She might even, like, be threaded. So when the day of Mania comes, she just puts that first stitch in. I clearly can't even be bothered to cut my fabric most of the time. All right. Next up is a little Lizzie Cade, Stitching Forever, Housework Whenever. I should have had it tattooed somewhere. And I just pulled another piece of that bone Lugana. I didn't dye it. I just left it. And because this is tiny, and then there's the colors for it. And because I think this calls for 28. It calls for 28, 2/2. So, and it's small. It's not big at all. And look, I actually did cut that fabric. That one is actually all ready to go in the little bendy flip. I love these because they just like fit the, you don't even need a project bag. The whole fabric, chart, floss, all together. All right, next is Fragments in Time. I'm so torn about these guys. I mean, I definitely want to do them, definitely want to start them. I have all 8. This is the 2018 that were like sampler cartouches. Oh, it even says that, celebrating sampler cartouches. I loved so many of them, I decided to just get the whole set. Here's my dilemma. I cannot decide if I'm doing them all individually and finishing them like this as little pin cushions and putting them in a basket or a bowl of some sort, or if I should do them all together with the free border. So Summer House Stitchworks has like a free border, and then you fit all of them in, and it has the alphabet as well. I didn't even print it. The fabric I have, so here's what I picked, was 32 count Stars Hollow. It's big enough to do the full like border and all of the, because it's 4 across, and these are 51 by 51, and then there's border that goes all the way around in between, and then there's extra like alphabet, like there's 3 letters on each one. Here is and it's the same floss palette for all of them, same color palette. So here's the colors, which I love. I mean, that was part of why I really liked this set in particular, was because I really liked the teals and red and gold. I really can't decide. I like the idea of having them all as one piece and framed it on the wall. I mean, it would look gorgeous back here, right? Am I right? I mean, hello. It's just a lot of border. Like, it would certainly be a lot easier to stitch these individually. And I don't know. Tell me your thoughts, guys. Tell me your thoughts on border as one piece or individually. I think it would be beautiful as one big piece and framed. I do. Maybe I'll look at the border again. I can't decide. All right, that's Fragments in Time. If that gets spun, I'm gonna have to make a game day decision. All right. Next up is Whip It Good. Guys, this one, I kind of want to put it in the Foreshore Starts, because I got the most amazing fabric for this, and I might cry if it doesn't get spun. I don't know. Okay, this is Whip It Good by Heartstring Stamplery. And this was a pattern that she did for charity in December. And so you could only buy it in December on her Etsy shop as a PDF. And all the proceeds went to like a local food bank. It was like a local food bank or a food insecurity charity. And she said she's going to release it at some point, but she doesn't know when. I love it. Look at that. It's scissors and bobbins and plans, and it says Whip It Good. And how do you not sing that when you see it? No. Whip it good. This, I love, this is so beautiful how she finished it on the lighter color, on the gray with the white. But I decided I wanted something a little bolder, and I got this piece from Be Stitch Me. So this is an 18 count Ada. I went with an 18 count Ada. Look how gorgeous this is. I can't remember what colorway she called it. It's so good. And partially that's why I want to start it, because I want to stitch this, and then I'm going to stitch it with one strand of sulky white. It's gonna be so good. I think I might move this to a foreshore start, because if this one didn't get spun, I'd be sad. Like everything else, like, yeah, I'd be sad. Oh, maroon. There we go. Be Stitch Me Maroon was what she called it, and it was on her website. I bought it off her website. I might go into a foreshore start. Okay, maybe it'll be 11 foreshore and 10 on the other side of it. Okay, next is, oh, I love this one too, Good Intentions by Kathy Barrick. I love the sentiment. This is literally me, and I love the chart. I don't love the color palette. It's just too like orange and gold and brown for me, and I think it's charted in all NPIs, if I'm correct. Is it all charted in NPIs? Yeah, it's all charted in NPI silk. There is a DMC conversion. I am going to do this on a piece of Ligonier Latte by R&R. It is 36 count Ligonier Latte. And I just pulled some colors. I mean, that I don't even know what's going to go where, but I just started pulling stuff from my stash and went with like colors I love. So all the words will be in, what is that? Blackbird. See, I knew I had more Blackbird. And then I just pulled a color palette of colors that I really love. And then of course, you know, you need like a white. What do we think? I don't even know what will go where. I'll figure it out. But I think that's what I'm doing. Are these pretty jewel tones. And they're Victorian mottos, 1 Weeks Dye Works, a Dinky Dyes. That's the color palette I'm going with. I don't even know what's going where. I'll figure it out. Look at me becoming a real cross stitcher. And winter white. So that's Good Intentions, which seems super stressful. Like that kind of stresses me out that it's going to look terrible, but I think it's a pretty color palette. So it'll be okay, right? It'll be okay. Tell me it'll be okay. All right. What's next? Antique Locks and Keys by Shakespeare's Peddler. There we go. See, I didn't even put this back in that bag. So that's Antique Locks and Keys. You guys know this. I want to do the whole series, but that's the first one I bought, so I felt like I should start with that one first. And I am doing this on a 36 count Tyco. And I'm actually doing, it calls for just one color, but I picked 3 kind of like rusty key colors, and I'm going to just pick and choose where I put them. So I picked Almost Auburn, Espresso Bean. That Espresso Bean, wasn't I just saying like you can't get Espresso Bean? And there it is. It's how long ago I bought these colors, and Verdigris. But I got this one that's like, sometimes it's way blue, and I got this one that's more brownish. Really does kind of look like a rusty key. So those are my 3 colors for my keys. I love that one. I really hope that one comes up, because I bought those flosses like last fall at an Acorns and Threads day. And I was trying to decide which color. Like I had pulled I think all three of those, and I was like, I can't decide which color to go with. And Stephanie, Super Chick, and she's Stitch Goes My Heart on Flosstube. She was like, well, why not use all three of them? Because you're a genius, Stephanie, and I am not. So all credit goes to Stephanie for giving me the idea to just use all three colors. It's going to look amazing. Okay, next up, Mice in the Sewing Room. Love this. And I am using this. I'm pretty sure this is Plum Street Blend. Plum Street Blend? Pretty sure. It's what I used for plum pudding. I don't have the tag anymore. And here is the flosses I picked, which are not all the called for. Like this is a color in cotton for the mice's dress. And I think I just called, some of it is what's called for. I know the chili pepper is, some of it is not. It's just what I had that was close and I thought looked good together. So that's Mice in the Sewing Room. That'll be a fun little stitch. Kyle over here is getting very precarious, but we're getting down to the end, guys. This is long. I didn't think I was going to do another long video, but this one's long. I just decided to keep going. Oh, Lizzie Kate Mystery Sampler. So this is a little mystery. There it is. It came out in 3 parts. I bought it off of Stash Unload with all the little, it was all 3 charts in the embellishment pack. But it didn't have any fabric or floss. I just bought the charts. And it's yesterday is gone, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. Like that. And I am going to do this on a piece of Bee Stitch Me Lugana and Vanilla Latte. It's still in the package. Sorry, guys. And here are the colors. I think some of these are called for. Some of them are DMC conversion. Some of them is what I pulled from my stash. So there's the color palette. It's just bright and cheery. Pinks and purples and greens. So crinkly, crinkly fabric. On that perfect kind of like neutral yellowy fabric. That'll be great. Okay, next up, Needles Dance by Ink Circles. There it is. And I picked out this piece of 32 count Summer Breeze hand-dyed fabrics by Stephanie, which isn't what's called for, but I mean, it's close. It calls for 32 count Blue Moon. But I thought this blue, I had it. It's really pretty. You know me, for some reason, I was buying blue fabric for a while. Never stitched anything on blue, but I kept buying blue fabric. And there's the called for threads. So I think these are going to look really pretty on the blue. So that's Needles Dance. All right, this is it. Last one, guys. Are you ready? So I told you, I just kept throwing stuff in there. This is a note of where stuff is that I don't think I need anymore. All right. This is that kit that the Dimensions kit that I won from Steel City Stitchers. And I don't know, I love that. That's so springy and summery and fun. So I have fabric. It was a full kit. It was the full Dimensions kit that they sent me. Like there's the floss card. But it came with 14 count Ada that I gave to Becca for her project. And I am going to use instead just this 32 count white Belfast. So I had in stash a piece of 32 count white that it would fit on. So I'm going to do 32 count white and it'll be a little smaller, which is fine. When I showed this, in my Flosstube, I had a viewer mention to me that they had done this kit. They said, be aware with that kit that they said they got through this whole border is half stitched. It's done in half stitch. And she said she got like through 60% of the border and ran out of floss. And you guys know how dimension kits are. It's not DMC. They don't give you a DMC equivalent. She contacted them and they're like, here's the closest DMC, which she said was not particularly close. Now, this is how much is in the kit, which seems like a good amount. I had in my stash, I had 703, which now there it doesn't look that close, but I swear it looks closer. In real life, it looks closer. I have a feeling this is what they told her. And she's like, it's not an exact match. I will say that. It is not an exact match, but it's pretty darn close. So I have a dilemma. Do I buy a whole bunch of 703 and just use that instead of what came in the kit? If any of you have done this kit and have the same, like I'm wondering if hers was just a manufacturing error or I don't know. The other thing is in the directions, it says for that border, it says you're going to use that color, 3 strands, half stitch. I can see that on 18 count, but if I'm doing it on 32 linen, I'm not going to use 3 strands. I think I'm going to use 2. It'll look a little lighter than the 2 strands that I will use 2 strands for the full cross. So it will be lighter, but it looks lighter in the picture anyway. So then if I'm using 2 strands instead of 3, then maybe I should be okay on the 32 count. I don't know. I don't want to start it and run out and not be able to match it. Tell me your thoughts. Should I buy a bunch of DMC? In which case, this probably will not be a Mania start. Or, I mean, I could start it. Like, I'm going to use this entire, like, why does it show up so bright? So, like, neon bright. It's 702. You guys know it's 703. You guys know what that color looks like. It's not that bright. I mean, it's not like I'm going to use that entire skein in Mania anyway. But I also hate to not use, like, all of this. But I also don't want to run out. Thoughts? That's the last possible Mania start. That's my only reservation with starting it is do I get DMC or do I risk it for the biscuit that that's going to be enough floss? I've done lots of dimension kits. Like all of my girls' stockings were dimension kits and I've never come close on running out on floss on them, honestly. I always have extra. So I'm thinking I'll just use this. I'll use this 2 strands. That's a third less. Okay. We'll see. All right, but that's it, guys. I'm now back to my foreshore starts. Whip It Good is going into foreshore. I've decided because I will cry. I will be so sad. Like the rest of these, of course, like I want to start all of them. But Whip It Good, if I got to the end of the month and that one was not started, I would be really disappointed. So that's it, guys. Those are the possible Mania starts. So I have now 11 foreshore starts, and then everything else I showed you guys, only 10 of these babies are going to get picked. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a little wheel and spin a wheel, and whatever comes up. I'm actually going to do that probably for the foreshore starts. Long and Winding Road, I'm going to start on the 1st, and then I'll alternate every other day. a possible start and a for sure start, but I'll probably spin a wheel. I'll have 2 separate wheels. I'll probably spin a wheel every day to pick what I'm going to work on. My other question for you all is Flosstube videos during Mania. I'm thinking about doing just a really like super, super short vlog style video every day and uploading every day, just to say, you know, just I can do my spin to see what I'm going to work on. I can show you the progress from the day before, like where I got on the day before's project, and then spin and for what project is for that day and show you guys that. And then the next day, and that would be it. So it would only be like a couple minutes every day. And then on the weekend, do like a regular Flosstube where I show like the other stuff that I'm working on, full coverage, any haul, any whatever. And then those would probably be shorter as well. Or do you guys want me to just save it all? Like that would just be a lot of whips to show on a Flosstube video. They're already long as it is. So tell me guys what you think. Like I really enjoyed last year. Last year I was just watching Mania because I just kind of found Flosstube a couple weeks before it started. And I really enjoyed the couple people that did quick little videos every day to show us what they worked on the day before and what they're going to be working on that day. So let me know if that's something that you guys would like, or if you're like, no, I can't handle that much like videos in my feed. I just want one big wrap up video. So that's it, guys. Mania. It looks like I still have a little bit of work to do to get these all ready, but everything's kitted. And now that I've showed it, cut myself off and can't put anything else in that tote. So thank you for the help. And I will see you guys back next Monday for regular Flosstube happy hour. Until then, take care. Bye.